Another option is how can you start using the Power Platform today? So I talked about Power BI, which is focused on business analytics. So Power BI has gone from not existing about 6 years ago to the number one BI platform out there on the market today. And it's really simple to use. So you can start with Power BI. You can take an Excel file that you've been using today, and you can build tables and charts and all sorts of information quickly in Power BI. So there's so much power in Power BI that I encourage you to use it. It is free to use personally or to use without sharing that data with other members of your organization. So there's really no barrier to getting started with it. You'll download a Power BI desktop solution on your machine, and you can connect your Excel spreadsheets and start getting comfortable with building solutions from there. If you're using like SmartList or PopDoc, you can get data out of there as well too, and be able to do great reports in Power BI. So definitely encourage you to check it out. If you do start sharing solutions with sharing reports with other members of your organization, it's $10 a user a month, so it's relatively reasonable from an expense standpoint if you've got a few users using it today. We use it for everything we do here at Stoneridge, so our leadership scorecard. We've even started using it for our board report outs every quarter as well too. So Power BI is a great solution that I encourage you to start using today. Again, you can get data out of GP into Excel. You can also get data directly from the SQL Server into Power BI as well, and you can build whatever reports you need. But if you make an investment there today, you'll have a better sense of what you can do as you look at Microsoft's cloud solutions in the future. So highly recommend you investing in some Power BI review and development today. Now, Power Apps. So Power Apps is the ability to build a solution that you can use on multiple different platforms. So let's say you've got a warehouse or you've got people out in the field. You can actually build a solution that will work on people's phones. So when they're running around out in the field, they now have access to data that you've got in GP if you've been able to build an app from that. So if you want to do barcode scanning, or if you want to do warehouse transfers, all of those types of things, you can actually build an app that will interact with your data and make the updates to your system on the back end. So if you're on GP for the long haul, but you've got some mobility needs that you want to be able to extend functionality there, Power Apps is a great place to go. And you can do a lot of that development without having actual developers. So if you understand, or you have some IT folks that really understand how the data structure works and what they're looking to do, they can actually build that solution. And then Power Automate, again, this is that workflow engine that if something happens, then take another action. So Power Automate is a great tool as well for any workflow needs that you've got. So if you're sending any emails today, if you're based on certain events, if you're updating statuses based on certain events, all of those things that you can do within Power Automate today. So again, it can look for triggers in your SQL database and then fire off another event from there. So it's a great tool that you can use today. That is the tool of the future from a Microsoft standpoint. So if you're thinking about, oh, if I build it here, will I be able to use it in the future? Absolutely, that's where Microsoft is going. And then I talked about Power Virtual Agents. And Power Virtual Agents are really creating that chat connection between you and your customer. So if you've got a business to consumer type of world where you're interacting with a lot of consumers and you want to have them be able to reach out whenever they have questions, you can answer some questions there without even involving folks from your team. So in one of our last company meetings, we did a Power Apps development session where we started using AI Builder, or the artificial intelligence builder, to build an app. And what we did is we actually used Power Virtual Agents as the help for that development. So anytime somebody had a question, they would ask the virtual agents, and the virtual agent would respond to them as well too. So that helped with a lot of questions like, where do I go next, or what am I doing? All of those types of things we were able to answer with the Power Virtual Agents. And then underneath this platform is data connectors. So all of these different Power Platform solutions can connect to lots of different data. So not only all the Microsoft data that you can possibly think of, in Azure or DevOps or whatever Microsoft tool you're thinking about, but a lot of other tools as well too. So if you're using Salesforce today, there are data connectors with Salesforce. I think there's hundreds of data connectors today as well. And then AI Builder allows you to use artificial intelligence. So it allows you to train a model that will help tell. So if you've got something where you need the system to go look at pictures of something, it can actually understand what is in those pictures and bring that back into your applications. And then Microsoft uses this thing called Dataverse, which is their database for this in the cloud. So all of these applications can write to Dataverse, and that's a place where you can store information before sending it back to GP or sending it to your business application, cloud-based business application solution in the future. So definitely recommend looking at the Power Platform and seeing where there's opportunities for you to be able to use this in the future.